the opening prayer, please.
In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. God, who is love, love is our calling and the goal for which you have made us. May our love in action reveal to our world that we are people of justice and mercy. May our daily words and examples show clearly that we are people of faith and hope. In the ways we reflect you daily, may everyone recognize us as people of joy. Help us to never forget how much you love us and to cherish your life within us, which gives us energy and direction to our loving. May we hear your call to love generously and inclusively, and may we call our world to be more loving also. All of this we ask in the name of Jesus, our friend and our Lord. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
The land acknowledgements, we would like to acknowledge that we are on sacred Indigenous territory and thank the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation for being the stewards of this land. Approval of the agenda, moved by Trustee Del Rosario. Any questions?
Mr. Chairman, before we get to the meeting, are we using the new protocol that trustees must be shown on screen at all times?
That is the protocol, so the answer is yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Approval of the agenda, Trustee Del Rosario. Any questions on the agenda? Opposed? Carried. A declaration of interest? None. Approval of minutes of the Faith and Program Committee meeting, June 13th, 2022. Moved by Anissa. Any questions? Any opposed? All in favor? Carried. No awards and presentations. No delegations. First order of business, David.
That would be item D, Mr. Chair, updates, information, reports, and trustees for receipt, the Ontario Catholic Schools Trustees Association.
See De Rosario.
No report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any good news items from my colleagues? Seeing none? Go
I do, Mr. Chairman.
ahead, Bria, please.
Thank you very much, and through the chair. Just with the celebrations of Thanksgiving this past weekend, I just want to recognize the many schools that organized food drives and for Eat in Food for Change, for Mississauga Food Bank, St. Vincent de Paul, Dr. Simone, lots of charitable causes and organizations. So recognizing that, you know, our schools are doing important work that goes beyond the classroom and helping to increase access for food and other essential supplies for those that are in need in our community. So I just want to offer my gratitude to our students, the families, the staff that all are continuing efforts to support our communities.
Thank you. Any other good news items? Seeing none. David?
Thank you. Through you, Chair Yanika. There are no updates, information reports from committees for receipt. Moving on to item F, updates, information reports from administration for receipt. Item F1, Catholic Education Week 2024. I'll pass it on to Superintendent Murphy, who will introduce the team.
Superintendent Murphy, please.
My apologies. Good evening through the chair. This evening, our faith animator, Deacon Ray Frendo, and our religious education coordinator, Julie Webster, will bring us a report on Catholic Education Week.
Welcome.
Here, the Ontario Catholic School Trustees Association sponsors the provincial wide this year's Catholic.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, can we ask Deacon Frendo to please to speak into the mic? Sorry, Deacon.
Check. Can you hear me?
Much better. Thank you, Deacon. Sorry.
No problem. Good evening. Each year, the Ontario Catholic School Trustees Association sponsors the provincial-wide initiative Catholic Education Week. This year's Catholic Education Week celebrations are to be held from Sunday, May 5th to Friday, May 10th, 2024. This year's theme is Catholic Education. We are called to love. And it is anchored, this theme is anchored with the scriptural quote, "If we love one another, God lives in us," from the first letter of John, chapter 4, verse 12. The 5 sub-themes for Catholic Education Week 2024 are: we are called to love as people of hope, as people of faith, as people of mercy, as people of justice, and as people of joy. To begin the school year, schools across Dufferin Peel were introduced to the theme and were provided with various resources for planning various initiatives, especially upcoming liturgies and Eucharistic celebrations. An invitation was also extended to staff and students across the province to participate in Oxta's contest for the composition of the 2024 Catholic Education Week song.
Throughout the school year, the theme, "We are called to love," will be an integral part of the faith life of our board. The Oxta Catholic Education Writing Team is currently working on developing the advanced kit materials that will be released in time to celebrate the season of Advent. The advanced kit resources will provide Catholic schools and communities with prayerful liturgies and reflections to use throughout the school year. Additional resources will also be developed by educators across the province to support our school communities and their celebrations of our distinct identity as members of a Catholic school system. These resources will include additional prayer services, a commissioned song, posters, prayer cards, suggested lessons accompanied by read aloud titles, as well as liturgies based on each sub-theme. And as these become available, they will be shared with the system. As we look forward to this year's celebration of Catholic education, the Religious Education and Faith Formation team will continue to promote the Oxta Catholic Education Week materials and events across the system and provide opportunities for our staff and students to live the gospel message in word and example. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
That concludes our report, and the team is happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Any questions? Seeing none? Thank you very much. David, please.
Through you, Chair Yanika, we now move on to item F2, which is the Math Achievement Action Plan, supporting mathematics teaching and learning. There is an accompanying PowerPoint that's been included in the agenda for trustee reference. It begins on page 19 of your agenda package. The report precedes that. So at this time, I'll pass it over to Superintendent Brian Diago and the math team who will lead us through the PowerPoint. This may take a couple of seconds just to load up the PowerPoint, as we do need to share the screen for those who are on the online environment.
To the chair, beginning in September 2023.
Excuse me, Brian, can you speak right into the mic, please?
Beginning in September 2023, the Ministry of Education launched Math Achievement Action Plan. This evening, we've created a presentation highlighting how we are supporting mathematics teaching and learning and implementing the ministry's Math Achievement Action Plan. It outlines how we are leveraging a variety of resources to support educators in enhancing each student's learning experience and responding to students' strengths and needs. The ministry's Math Achievement Action Plan is a strategy focused on boosting educators and students' math confidence and competence in the classroom, helping students improve an EQAO in math, and preparing our students for future success. The ministry's math achievement plan includes a board math lead with the focus on helping improve math outcomes for students. The lead is responsible for curriculum implementation and standardized training and leading board-wide actions to meet targets. Elementary and secondary math facilitators provide direct support in classrooms at ministry-identified priority schools. And the ministry math action team works directly with school boards to identify and recommend targeted strategies that help us improve student achievement. In Dufferin Peel, the ministry has identified 35 priority schools and 35 priority elementary schools and 3 priority secondary schools based on an analysis of the 2021-2022 EQAO mathematics achievement data. At the elementary level, we do have 10 schools who have been identified with a grade 3 focus, 17 schools who have been identified with a grade 6 focus, and 8 schools who have been identified with both a grade 3 and 6 focus. The secondary schools have an identified focus of grade 9 in 3 of our schools. As a result of their work with experts in math education to better understand next steps for math improvement in Ontario, the ministry developed Taking Action in Mathematics, a framework to capture look-fors and areas of focus to guide improvement efforts. The board's math achievement plan focuses on 4 priority actions. It is the foundation of the board's work, the school's work, and our math facilitators' work to help improve student achievement. First priority action is curriculum fidelity, ensuring fidelity of the curriculum implementation and use of instructional assessment practices with a proven track record of enhancing student achievement. Secondly, we are looking at math content knowledge for teaching, engaging in ongoing learning to strengthen mathematics content knowledge for teaching. And the third priority action is knowing the students, knowing the mathematics learner and ensuring mathematical tasks, interventions, and supports are relative and responsive. The ministry would like us to measure these results, focusing on improvement in mathematics achievement that is measurable and timely. In Dufferin Peel, we are very lucky to have 8 elementary math facilitators and 1 secondary math facilitator who have begun their work in classrooms throughout the board, focusing on the ministry's math achievement plan priorities and supporting the implementation of the 2020 elementary math curriculum and the 2021 grade 9 D-stream curriculum. Some of the work that the facilitators are doing includes supporting academic achievement efforts in alignment with the board and school improvement goals. Facilitators provide in-class facilitation to strengthen math knowledge and pedagogy and build students' mathematical understandings. Highlight the consistent use of the board's purchased core materials and supplementary math resources. They model high-impact instructional practices for the classroom teachers. They collaborate with classroom educators to identify students' strengths, needs, and determine appropriate interventions. They work directly with students who require any additional mathematical supports. And they are supported by the academic coordinator here at the board, as well as monthly professional development sessions provided by the ministry. Foundations to all our work in supporting mathematics teaching and learning across the board is a belief that we are all part of the equation. Supported through learning services, the program department, through the leadership of Superintendent Murphy and the math team, we would like to acknowledge the work of Coordinator Maria Reversal, Consultant Jeanette Castoris, Consultant Ann Murphy, and Consultant Christina Calcibici. At this point, I pass the presentation over to our Academic Coordinator of Mathematics, Maria Reversal, to share resources and supports that Dufferin PO has to offer all its educators and students.
Through the chair, support in schools includes the use of program department purchased core resources. Each of them enhance mathematics teaching, learning, and assessment. For some reason it's not animating, but I will describe them. For kindergarten, we have the resource My Math Path. For grades, for primary grades and CERC, for special education resource classrooms, we have the resource Mathology. For grades 3-4 to 6-7 classes, we have Math Up Classroom. For grades 6-7 to 8 classrooms, we have My Math Path through Edwin. And for grades 9 classes, we have Math Up Classroom, grade 9. I don't think this will animate either. However, I will tell you about these resources. To supplement the core program department purchase resources, we have supplementary resources that are outlined in our report. They include the resources that you can see, things like Knowledge Hook, Gizmos, and Braining Camp. But as mentioned, they are detailed in our report. In addition to the board's purchased core resources and supplementary resources that support effective mathematics programs, our work and the work of school-based math facilitators continues to focus on implementing high-impact instructional practices in mathematics in alignment with the ministry's document, High-Impact Instructional Practices in Mathematics, in which the ministry identified 9 high-impact practices. To support the work in schools, our team created a hub of resources that outline and include resources that are both curated and created by the team to support each of the 9 practices. We also have a program department math team SharePoint site. It really is a one-stop shop for educators. Through it, they can access all of our core resources and supplementary resources. We've highlighted some of them here, but it is a place available to all teachers across the system. A variety of learning opportunities to support mathematics teaching and learning for the 2023-2024 school year have begun. For example, our recent October Professional Development Day included elementary and secondary schools engaging in math team-created tasks, highlighting key resources that support high-impact instructional practices, each of which can be used across all subject areas. And additional responsive professional development opportunities will continue to be developed and offered over the course of the school year. We're excited about the opportunities that lie ahead. Our team is committed to ensuring all student voices are heard and respected, establishing mathematics classrooms that are filled with talk, enthusiasm, and excitement, and ensuring that all students receive the highest quality mathematics instruction and learning opportunities, where they interact as confident mathematics learners and are empowered to reach their full potential. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Brian. Any questions? I have trustee Daryl D'Souza and then trustee Mario Pascucci. Daryl, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And through you, my question is, do we have anything related to financial education, which is part of this mathematics push that the ministry is giving us?
So through you, Chair Yanika, part of one of the goals of the ministry for this action plan is curriculum fidelity. And as trustees would be aware, financial literacy and matters related to finance in mathematics are part of the new math curriculum. So part of this project will be to ensure fidelity or alignment to that part of the curriculum by the support that's provided to the teachers in the classroom.
Trustee D'Souza?
So can you elaborate a bit as to what part of financial literacy is there within this program? And is it in grade 3 and 6 only, or is it across?
Through the chair, it's part of this is the support that's going to be given to those grade 3 and 6 students. It is part of the curriculum, and one of the goals is to ensure alignment with the curriculum. I don't have the actual curriculum in front of me in terms of financial literacy, but I believe it's all across K to 12 in terms of mathematics, K to 8, the elementary curriculum, and sprinkled throughout 9 to 12 as well. So in order for curriculum alignment to be happening, which is one of the goals that we are required to meet as part of this project, the facilitators will be supporting classroom teachers to ensure that there is understanding and enactment of the financial literacy pieces in their classroom.
Is it possible for staff to send us in issues and events as to what financial literacy is being, knowledge is being imparted to our students? Probably a summary of it by grade.
Through the chair, we'd be happy to lift that from the curriculum and provide a snapshot for trustees.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Daryl. Ariel, please.
Bruno, thanks, bud. Mr. Chairman, through you to staff, how does this work with the computer programming that the kids do in the classrooms? Is it going to be intertwined together, or are they going to do it separately? How's it going to work, the STEM program versus with the math programs?
So through you, Mr. Chair, one of the actual initiative's strong points and baseline measures is use of computer technology for a diagnostic assessment. So through the chair, it does go hand in hand with what the facilitators are doing out there.
Okay, and who's creating the lessons on this new system or on this system?
Through the chair, it's not new lessons necessarily, it's just ensuring alignment with the curriculum and effective use of the core resources that have already been purchased for the teachers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sorry about the background noise.
Thank you, Mario. Trustee Del Rosario, Luz, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for the presentation. Again, it's very informative. I just want to find out how are we including the changes in math curriculum to ensure that our students with differing abilities are included in all the updates that's happening.
So through the chair, if I may, supporting our students with differing abilities maintains an area of focus, is maintained throughout the system. We've actually made changes to the individual education plans to ensure that they're reflective of the new math curriculum expectations. And part of the support that these math facilitators will be providing when they're out in the system is to ensure differentiation of instruction and that the needs of all of our learners are met.
Thank you. Want to make sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Del Rosario. Trustee Herman Valoria, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And through you, I'd like, could I request staff to elaborate on what they call high impact lessons?
So through the chair, they're actually part of the report. And this is a document that was put out by the ministry when aligned to the new math curriculum. And those are the 9 instructional practices that are highly effective in terms of their impact on students based on the research.
And my second question would be, will trustees be notified as to which schools are going to be targeted by the ministry?
Through the chair, we can put that information in issues and events.
Thank you. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Herman. Any other questions? Being none. David, next, first of all, thank you to each and every one of you. Report. David, next order of business.
Thank you. Continuing through you, Chair Yanika, we now move on to item F3, the new Ontario curriculum update for 2023, 2024, that should say, with Superintendent Murphy.
Chair, this report begins on page 32 of the agenda. The Ministry of Education has been working through a significant number of curriculum updates. In September of 2020, a new mathematics curriculum was created for grades 1 to 8, replacing the curriculum that existed from 2005. In this new curriculum, connections between skills studied each year are made stronger, and there is an emphasis on real-life connections and applications to mathematics to make the study of mathematics more relevant and to increase confidence with our students. Coding is introduced to improve problem solving and develop students' fluency with technology. The use of mathematical tools and the importance of knowing fundamental math concepts like one's addition facts or one's multiplication facts are highlighted as part of the importance of problem solving and mental math. The 2007 science curriculum has been updated effective September of last year as science and technology for grades 1 to 8. In this curriculum rewrite, there is again the focus on the practical application of science and technology in everyday life for our students. Coding and STEM are also elevated in this rewrite, and it is an addition to help build children's capacity and fluency with technology and relates to the coding and technological aspects that are in the mathematics update. As of this September, language arts has received an update from the 2006 edition. And I point out those dates because we're in a very different world now than when the curriculum was originally written. The rewrite of the language arts curriculum is informed by the recommendations of the Ontario Human Rights Commission's Right to Read Inquiry Report. Digital literacy, again, fluency with technology, problem solving, critical thinking, and evidence-based systematic reading instruction is prioritized in this curriculum. An emphasis on Indigenous, First Nations, Métis, and Inuit contributors and diverse identities and representative perspectives are also part of this new edition. In the grades 1 to 3 social studies curriculum, students now begin to understand the impact of colonization and the existence of residential schools and how it has affected our First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. Students will learn about Indigenous peoples and their traditions, their customs, their teachings, and their celebrations. The interrelationship between environment and Indigenous people will be studied to elevate everyone's understanding of the relationship and responsibility to the earth. In grade 6 in social studies, students will now study the Holocaust, anti-Semitism, and understand how our government responds to acts of hate and human rights violations, a very timely study given what's going on in the world right now. In our secondary curriculum, there have also been a significant number of updates. Grade 9 math was de-streamed in 2021. MTH1W allows students to develop and importantly consolidate knowledge and skills to support their future pathway choices for grade 10. Coding, data, mathematical modeling, financial literacy, and STEM are also focused upon in this curriculum update, clearly an extension of the work in the elementary curriculum. The science curriculum was de-streamed in 2022, and the importance and impact of science and technology on society and the environment are uplifted in this version of the curriculum. The grade 10 civics course was updated in September 2022 with an emphasis on Indigenous Crown relations, digital literacy, and the importance of commemorating events, issues, peoples, and symbols of our country. The grade 10 computer course has come into effect this September and replaces the Introduction to Computer Studies course written in 2008. This new digital technology and innovations in a changing world ICD 2.0 course focuses on STEM, computational thinking, and the impact of digital technologies. Artificial intelligence and cybersecurity are also topics that are introduced. Grade 9 geography has been de-streamed with all students, placing them in either the academic or locally developed program. In September 2023, grade 9 English program was de-streamed, as the other subjects have been. And this course emphasizes, again, the fundamental skills, knowledge, and consolidation needed for students to make the appropriate pathway choices for the rest of their high school career. In conclusion, program, special education, and equity departments are working to support these many curriculum changes and implement them by promoting resources provided by the ministry's website, its VLE, the virtual learning environment, and materials that our departments work together to co-create. As allocated by the ministry, staff will be designated to support various areas, and all efforts will be focused on improving student achievement and well-being and building our teachers' capacity. Thank you. I'm happy to take any questions on these many others.
Thank you, Superintendent Murphy. Questions? C. Del Rosario, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, I just want to thank you for this wonderful information. Kind of gave me, and hopefully our fellow trustees, all information of all the changes, because there's so many changes that came in the last year or so, and I can never remember what happened in the D-stream and sciences. But this is wonderful information for us. So when parents ask us, I think something we can explain easily. My question, Mr. Chair, is I just want to clarify, what do you mean by geography is no longer taught? Or are we not going to have geography class anymore?
Through the chair, we do have geography classes, but rather than coming up with a new de-streamed curriculum, what the ministry did was decommission the applied program and designated the academic program as the one that students will study. So all students are in the academic program because they haven't rewritten the curriculum, or they have the option of being in a locally developed course if a board does have that option, and we do. So the idea behind de-streaming is to eliminate barriers for students picking their courses and deciding they're going to college and university at a very young age. Many of them haven't blossomed at that point. The de-streaming and the modeling of having all students achieve at that higher level is to open up doors and open up potential so that kids think that they can go into academic, that's university and college, or workplace, depending on what their pathway is. But geography does still exist. It's just the elevated curriculum.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for that clarification. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Luz. Any other questions? Seeing none. Thank you very much.
Through the chair, just in addition to the report, Superintendent Murphy will be providing links to the curriculum and parent updates as well, and issues of and events for trustees.
Thank you. David?
Through you, Chair Yanika, there are no updates or information reports from administration requiring action, nor notices of motion. So we move on to item I, questions asked by trustees.
Colleagues, any questions? Trustee Corbett, please.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I didn't think I was first, but no problem. Through you. So I have two questions, but my first one's around Catholic School Council meetings. So we know these meetings are really important for parents to stay updated about what's happening in their school communities and contribute to what's happening in their children's school and the faith life experiences. Not sure about my trustee colleagues, but recently there's been what I've seen, a significant number of inconsistencies that have been occurring in our Catholic School Council meetings. And that's not to say they're not doing great work. It's just as we go from school to school, and our schools are starting with the first council meetings, starting to see that there's things that are happening that are a little different. So some of our schools are offering in-person only without an online option for parents to log in. Other schools are doing the opposite. They're offering online only without any in-person. And since all of our activities for the schools have now gone back in person, I think at a minimum, we need an administrator and probably the council chair to be present physically at the school for parents who may show up. So I went back to our policy 4.01, our Catholic School Council policy, because it was updated this time last year. And section 5.2 indicates principals will ensure all council members and council meeting participants have the opportunity to attend any council meeting virtually. But it seems there's some maybe misinterpretation and some inconsistency on what that actually looks like. And I'm wondering if we can maybe provide clarity to the system and improve access for parents.
Through the chair, thank you for the question. Last week, I believe on Friday, clarity was sent out to all principals from my office indicating that at the very minimum, the principal and the chair needed to be physically present at the Catholic School Council meeting. If Trustee Corbett will indulge staff with some time in order to go back and review what the practices are out there in terms of the other matters that the trustee raised this evening, we'll communicate in due time.
Thank you, and through the chair, and thank you, Associate Director Emerald. If I may, I can provide some additional context to what I'm seeing, because some schools, they send an online link to all parents of the school community, and that's in advance of the meeting, which is great. So the advantage is with that practice, everyone has access. And if schedules change, they thought they were going to go in person, but they decide last minute they're going to log online, that's great. They have the meeting link. But some schools will only send that online link if parents email the school back and let them know that they're going to be hybrid or online. So the issue I have here is if they're not attending in person and there's last minute changes to parents' schedules or travel, or if they're sick or their kids are sick, there's no one at the school after hours for parents to contact to get that link. And that means either you're going to have parents go to these council meetings in person if they're sick, or they won't go at all. And I think that's unfortunate either way. So there's some schools that are using Teams versus Zoom. Feedback I'm getting suggests that Teams is maybe not as user-friendly for parents as opposed to Zoom, but I leave that up to staff. And some schools are offering in-person only, and they're claiming that no one wanted online. But in the school communications they've sent out, they've not indicated that online was even an option or that there was an opportunity to do so. So we have some schools assuming that if they don't hear back from parents that nobody wants online, in which case parents might be just busy. And RSVPing online is just another step we're now asking parents to do and commit to in advance, which seems really unnecessary. And we don't require in-person RSVPing for those parents. So it's really my hope it's the beginning of the year. Hopefully we can simplify the process. Hopefully we can get consistency across the system. But I really just want to make sure we're improving access to all parents, not just a few council members and not just the ones that are attending on a regular basis, that it's information that's important. All parents should have access to. They should all have an opportunity to do that. And by asking parents to RSVP to get the link really is discouraging participation, in my opinion. And if there's concerns that administrators have by sending it out to their school community, I mean, this was done during the pandemic, so I'm not sure why that practice has changed now and seems a bit bumpy for some, but administrators can always decline to admit a parent if they don't recognize a name or if they absolutely need to confirm who it is that's on the other end. But the reality is these council meetings are, they're public, they're not in camera sessions. And I think more and more, it's important that these parents have opportunity to participate if they wish. So I appreciate if there's further communication that can help everyone streamline the process and make sure everyone's got access.
Thank you, through the chair.
Thank you. Chair Anika, I do have a second question if it's okay, or I can go to the bottom of the list if you wish.
Oh, go to the next question. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and through you. Just in light of the recent events and violence in the Middle East, it's understandably a very difficult time for many of our students and our families and in our school communities. And as a Catholic school community, I know we continue to pray for peace and for all those that are impacted. We do still have a duty to care for all of the students and families that we have. Is it feasible to send communication out to the system about the supports in place, the mental health services that are available? Because I really feel it's important to do so.
Through the chair, thank you. And we have our general manager, Bruce Campbell, who is already working on some messaging to go out to the community. So that should be going out imminently.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Those are my questions, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Trustee Corbett. Any other questions? Stefano and then Mario. Stefano Pascucci, please.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chairman. Just on the topic of Catholic school councils, I remember asking back in June that parent communities, I guess the whole Dufferin Peel community get, I guess, a little blurb of about what's going on within Catholic school councils and what the different positions would be and what they entail. I don't remember seeing that being sent out. I've actually just as Trustee Corbett was asking her questions, just checking my emails. I couldn't see it there. Can you just confirm that information was sent out to parents?
Through the chair, that was part of the nomination process in terms of when people put their name forward for council. But we can take that back and certainly reiterate it at the upcoming Family of Schools Council Chairs meeting in the middle of October.
Yeah, and I specifically remember asking to have it sent out before as a little blurb, because looking at the ones that I've received, like the information that I received, the information was sent out like about a week before nominations were due. So doesn't give a lot of parents a lot of time to look at that. So not sure if there's any way that we can make that earlier, as in like a welcome to your school community. This is what you have. This is what school council does, and this is what the positions are. If you're interested, please come out and say hi. I am happy to say though that the council meetings that I have gone to, there are a lot more parents that are involved now, which is great. And we're seeing that our school communities are becoming alive again, which is great. So that is one positive thing, but I'm just wondering if maybe we get that a little bit earlier next time.
The chair will have a look at that for sure.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Stefano. Mario, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To follow up on Bria's position there, the concern I have, of course, is like most, is accessibility. We can't presume that everybody in every household that we have in Dufferin Peel can afford a computer, can afford coverage, can afford internet hookups and what have you. So we got to make it as easy as possible. On the other hand, of course, there's a lot of people that want to come. I agree with Stefan. It's a great opportunity now. There's been a lot more people than normal, whatever normal is, and I'm so happy with the number of people that are coming out. There's volunteers and the cooking and all that, the hot dogs and stuff. Great turnouts, fantastic turnouts. But where do we fall down potentially is in the communications. And to pick up what I said earlier, when a decision is made, it doesn't matter what level. I don't care if it's from the ministry level down to whomever. The fact is that not everybody has everybody's benefit. In other words, if I can afford something, it doesn't mean the guy next to me can as well. And this is something I've kept over the years, because when we were setting mill rates 100 years ago, the fact of the matter is that, trying to meet Peel's mill rate so that in fact ours would be the same. It was difficult at the best of times. We are all coming from different households. So if you have 80,000 students, you can rest assured we have about 25 to 30 to 40,000 homes that we're affecting. So that's something that caused me concern. So there's never should be a presumption that someone's not going to show up. And we want to make it as easy as possible for someone to latch on. And yes, you're right, Bria. If you want to talk to somebody after 6 o'clock, good luck. But then again, those people they're there because they fulfill their daily hours, and I thank them for that. So there's got to be some fail-safe opportunity of connecting with somebody in case there's an issue that I can't come online or whatever, because things do change by the time someone gets home. Another thing too is if the carbon copy confirmation, the reports that or the articles have been sent to us with a carbon copy to the trustees has been working extremely well, and I thank staff for following that. I mean, I am more in touch with the schools now than I was in the past, and this is great. And I'd like to encourage this, and included in that, of course, the information of, if you will, the link to anything that's out there. So again, goes to the point of, yes, nobody's there, but the fact that the link is here or somehow, and we can connect ourselves so that there's a link, either an ongoing link or a new link per meeting. We had issues a few years ago when some individuals wanted to discuss within our meetings, et cetera, and caused a little bit of disruption. Everybody's entitled. We are a public body, and everybody's entitled to hear what we say. So in closing, Mr. Chairman, I agree with a lot that's been said already, but just let's keep the doors open and encourage people to come to visit us. And we want to hear from them, especially now that we're going to be going into some difficult times with reduced population, student population, and the cost to continue on regardless. So we need their interest and their support. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mario. Nathan, please.
Mr. Chair, I just had a quick question for going back to item F3 for the new Ontario curriculum. I think you missed a question of mine, so I just want to go back there. How will we ensure that the updated curriculum is followed by teachers? So is there like a lead that we have similar to the Math Achievement Action Plan, or how is that being like ensure that it's being followed?
So through the chair, that would be the professional duty of the teacher in terms of teaching the curriculum. There's many avenues and mechanisms we can use, and principals in elementary and secondary schools do what are called walkabouts to ensure what's going on in classrooms. There's the teacher performance appraisal process whereby teachers are appraised every 3 years in a cycle. And so there are many mechanisms. I would suggest if there are concerns to contact the school principal.
Thank you. And one more question. So back into the topic of the geography and like the applied program being like banished for that. So if there is no locally developed course for geography, will there be like any online courses that are available, or is it like a mandate of some sort?
I'm not quite sure I understand the question.
Sorry. So if there's a locally developed course and there's a student who chooses to take locally developed geography, and it's not available in a school, is there anything online? Is there a mandate to make sure that there's like one entire board?
So through the chair, the guidance department at the school, supported by the guidance department at the board, would ensure that all students' needs are met at the school, whatever that looks like.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. Any other questions? I turn over the chair to Trustee Del Rosario. I have a couple if I could.
Go ahead.
Madam Chair, I was at a council meeting last week, and one of the mothers that lived in Orangeville was at this school, which probably takes her an hour in the morning to get there in South Mississauga. She had indicated that she had no idea St. Mark School was a special high skill major of that particular group. Principal did not send it out. Can we just make sure that principals in the north, when there is an advertisement for regional schools, that the principals do send it out, and I can see how they would think or may think, not that they do, may think that, well, the schools in South Mississauga, who the heck would go to South Mississauga? But there are kids that do want to go to South Mississauga for specific programs. And I could use the arts, I could use the sports, I could use a variety of different ones. So we ensure that that is a must, not a if you want request of them, especially up north. All schools, but specifically up north, because this mother lives up north.
Through you, Chair Del Rosario, we can ensure that happens, Trustee Unica.
Thank you. As the conversation I had with the associate director, I had 2 calls from friends that were not happy that secondary school open houses were the same night as progressive report evenings in elementary. Parents said, I can't fly to the secondary school that I may want to attend. So I know that there is a board calendar, and I know that a couple of these elementary schools, they don't all go to one elementary school. They look at what's going on in the King calendar, and then they choose a night and go from there. So can we ensure that the secondary school touches base with the feeder schools to ensure that they don't have something going on? Because in this case, my understanding, and it's only from a conversation, that 4 of the schools, elementary, that feed into this one school have progress course. Now, I would agree that not every child is going to require a progress report. No argument. But the ones that do, probably the ones that are going to want to see where they're going and what's going to be there when they get there, what options are available. So can we just have secondary schools reach out to elementary schools to have that open conversation and input and kind of come to a date of agreement?
Through the chair, yes, we can take that back, certainly.
And lastly, Madam Chair, on a very, 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 very preliminary basis, and now it's in the hands of the admin and superintendents that are moving forward with SEAC, Adrian and Wayne, but through directly to the director, which is venting the speaker. Those of you that were in attendance at the last human trafficking report would have recalled both Tamia and Michelle saying that one of the things that helped them, unfortunately, get lured into human trafficking was either this or this. And as our children go into their bedrooms, they take both of them with them. Ironically, I will say, much to my surprise, I was at one of the schools of this board that I represent, and I said, nobody knows what goes on with the phones or laptops in their child's room. And the father piped up and said, I do. And I said, how do you know that? He goes, well, they might be watching TV, but they're definitely not on the internet. And I said, why is that? He goes, it's at 8:30, mine shuts off. And I took and he said, oh, and my kids hate me. Okay. But so the person that we kind of pulled out of variety of suggestions, but this particular one was part of the Michelle Tamia presentation that they had. So I know that staff have it. Just want my colleagues to be aware that it is something that's on the table. We'll hopefully get an answer at one point in time as to whether they fit the bill for different appeal. And if they do not, then we will find somebody else. But just as an FYI, because I know that at SEAC, and I've heard it a variety of different times from our parents and Trustee Pascucci, Stefano, sorry. The parents are continue to be very interested in human trafficking. And in today's terms of what can and can't be done on the computer and your phone, it's a lot easier to draw young girls and young men. One of the schools of this board council that I attended, the nurse there said that she attended to at least one a week, and the one that was last week was a 12-year-old girl. So you can just imagine how awful it was for her to hear. And she said she still has terrible feelings about listening to it. So again, if there's something that we can do for all of our parents, and on top of that, Madam Chair, we are continuing to deal with and educate our children appropriately in elementary and in each of the school grades and secondary.
Through the chair, that's correct.
Okay, thank you very much. Chair.
Thank you. I have one more, trustee Stefano Pascucci.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and sorry for not putting my hands up quick enough before Chair Bruno and Chair Yanika sent it over to you. Just really quick question and also a request. I'm not sure about my other trustees around the table here or online here, but to the number of open houses that I attended, which were almost all of them, sometimes some of them were multiple per night. I did not see one priest at one of our at any of them. I'm just wondering if it's common practice to invite our local parish priests as well.
Through the chair, thank you for the question. We would be inviting priests, but we'll take that back and ensure that that is also a reminder for our administrators.
Thank you. Yeah, and you know, I'm not saying that they weren't, but I just haven't seen one, and I'm sure they're very busy people as well. So just want to make sure that they are being included within our school community. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Seeing none, I'm moving back to chair.
Thank you, Trustee Del Rosario. No declared items, and just move into camera. Moved by Trustee Thomas. Any opposed? All in favor? Carried. Before I do that, I just want to mention that the Faith and Program Committee move into closed meetings as discussions will involve the disclosure of personal information and embargoed student achievement record. That was again moved by Trustee Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We're going to need some time to close the doors to enact the in-camera session, and trustees will be asked to move to a breakout room in the virtual environment. I don't know, Mr. Chair, if you'd like to give a time that trustees would be coming back.
10 after 8, that'll give you 12 minutes. David, is that enough to close the doors?
Through the chair, should work.
Thank you. 10 after 8, colleagues, thank you. Eyes from camera. In camera, we had discussion on results of the EQAO. And approve of the report. Adjournment. Moved by trustee, moved by Paula. All in favor?